Almost every major AI company has a $20 plan. Today, I want to look at three of them: ChatGPT Plus, Claude Pro, and Google AI Pro, to see which one is really worth spending $20 a month on. So I signed up for all three and compared the features, how good the models are, and how much you can even use them before you hit your limits. In this video, I'll reveal what I found and which $20 AI plan I think is the best one for you. I'll even reveal which plans I'm using in my daily workflows. For this video, we are going to look at three different plans: Claude Pro, ChatGPT Plus, and Gemini Pro. All of these cost $20 a month, and they have a lot of similar features. But there are some key differences, and those are what I'm going to focus on. To make this as easy as possible for you to make a decision as to which one you should sign up for, I'm going to break this down into 7 or 8 different categories. And we'll start with an easy one: video generation. Right now, if you want to use one of these tools to create videos, the only one that can do that is Gemini, and it does it quite well. You can even upload an avatar of yourself and use these different templates. It's really a lot of fun, and it's a good model. ChatGPT doesn't have video generation anymore, and Claude never had it. So if you're looking to generate videos, your only option really is to sign up for Gemini. Image generation is also pretty clear. If you need to generate images, you cannot use Claude. There's no image generation tool in Claude. With ChatGPT and Gemini, there is. With ChatGPT, you get templates that you can choose between. You can upload images and have ChatGPT edit those images, and it does a phenomenal job. In fact, right now, ChatGPT's image model is considered the best one in the world. But Gemini also does a great job. You can also choose between these templates. You can also upload images and have it edit those images. And it does a great job. It's just not as good as what ChatGPT can make right now. So if you need the absolute best image generation tool, then you'll want to sign up for ChatGPT. However, if you just do image generation from time to time and you don't need the absolute best one, then you can choose between either Gemini or ChatGPT, and you should factor in the categories that we're going to cover next. If you're just going to use any of these as a general AI chatbot, you'll probably be happy with any of them. It really comes down, though, to personal preference. So personally, I don't love using Claude for regular chats. First, because I don't feel like it has a good grasp on real-world knowledge, at least not to the extent that ChatGPT and Gemini do. But I also don't love the wall of text that Claude tends to throw at you when it answers your questions. It makes it difficult to read and digest it. ChatGPT also does this to an extent, but you can refine this a bit in the settings, and at least there's some structure to it. And Gemini definitely gives you the most structured outputs. You can see a few examples of that right here. And here's what ChatGPT produced. And then finally, look how much more structured the Gemini response is. So this is purely personal preference, but when I'm just using AI chat, I tend to prefer to use Gemini for that. I want to take a second to pause here to talk about the sponsor of today's video, which is one of the few AI tools I use outside of my computer, the Plaud Note Pro. It's a credit card thin voice recorder that allows you to capture moments on the go into this searchable memory system, so all your important thoughts never disappear. Using the Plaud Note Pro is so simple. One long press and it starts recording. I use this to capture meetings, phone calls, speakers at conferences, even voice memos to myself in the car. It also has really great microphones, so you can just leave it in the middle of the table and it will pick up everyone's voices. Of course, be sure to get anyone's consent before recording them. Then if something important gets said, one quick tap of this button highlights that exact moment so you don't lose it. For instance, if I'm using it to brainstorm some ideas and I suddenly say something that sounds really important that I want to remember, I just tap this once so I can easily find it later. Once the conversation is over, long press the button again to stop the recording. The app will then immediately begin transcribing the recording and will even pinpoint different speakers so you know who said what. Of course, no one wants to look at a wall of text like this, so they will also give you a clean AI summary of the key points and a list of action items ready to go. Finally, you can always use Ask Plaud to ask Plaud any follow-up questions. So you could ask, what AI tool did I recommend for automation? And it will pull the answer straight from the source and give you a citation so you know you can trust it. I've been using Plaud a lot for phone calls and when I attend in-person events, so I can capture ideas on the go and have it all saved in my Plaud knowledge base. It makes sure that I never miss anything important. The Plaud Note Pro comes with a 30-day free return policy. Make sure to get one using the link and code in the description down below. Next, let's talk about writing. And this category isn't as clear-cut as some of the other ones because there's a divergence here between the best model for writing and the best tool for writing. I'll start out by saying that all three models do a great job at any type of writing, whether that's creative writing, technical writing, helping you with your emails, or writing reports. But in my opinion, Claude handles writing the best. It is the most expressive, the most human-like, and the most adaptable. If you come into Claude, there's a tool here called Use Style. You can create and edit these different writing styles by actually uploading existing documents that you have that you've written yourself. And from that, it will create one of these styles based on your tone of voice. So at any time, you can choose that style so that what it creates for you will be in your tone of voice. Even without that though, Claude just has the most human-like and nuanced writing that sounds fantastic when compared to what ChatGPT and Gemini output. But there's a problem with how Claude handles writing. You see, when you ask it to create a report for you or draft a document for you, it will do it in this side panel. You can see I can move this around, so it's like split screen. This is called an artifact. And while it's great that this is over here on the side so that you can continue to chat with Claude on the left and tell it what changes you want to make to the document it created, there's no way for you to manually make any edits in here. And that's really unfortunate because you used to have the ability to do that and Anthropic took it away. I don't understand why, because it was a great feature. If you look at what ChatGPT does, they do something similar, except their artifact is called Canvas, and it's in line like this. Now, I don't love this. I would prefer if it was off on the side so that you can see it on the right and chat with ChatGPT on the left. But instead, they put it in line. But the benefit of this one is that you can actually make edits to this. So I can delete this. I can bold different things. I can change the style to like heading 1. So there's much more things that you can do with this manually than you can with Claude, which doesn't have that ability at all. But the best one by far is what Gemini has. With Gemini, if you enable Canvas before you ask a question, it will provide the answer on the right here, just like we saw with Claude. But this is a lot closer to an entire word processor. So I can change anything in here, of course, write something new in here. I can change the heading if I wanted to. I can bold, italicize, do bulleted lists. I can even print it if I wanted to, insert an equation. So this is the best tool, I think, of the three when it comes to writing collaboratively with the AI tool. So if you want the strongest writing model, I would go with Claude. Just understand that the tool isn't as good as Canvas inside of Gemini. Next, let's talk about how well all three of these play with third-party tools. So inside of Claude, if you click on Customize on the left and click on Connectors, you can see all the tools, the third-party tools that you can connect with Claude. You see it is quite a lot. It is a very long list. And of course, you have the major ones that most people use, like Gmail, Google Drive, Notion, Google Calendar. But you also get access to Zapier. And with this, even if a tool that you want to connect up with isn't available on this list, you can still connect to it through Zapier, most likely. So suffice it to say, Claude pretty much connects with every third-party tool out there. With ChatGPT, they have something similar called apps. And you see right here, there are quite a lot of apps that you can connect up with ChatGPT. This works the same way that it works with Claude. So it's quite a long list. However, I don't think Zapier is in here. If we search for Zapier, no, it's not. So you will not get as many integrations as Claude does, but it's still quite a lot. And of course, it works with Gmail, Calendar, and Drive, and Notion, Outlook Calendar, SharePoint, so a lot of the big ones. Google Gemini, on the other hand, is a little bit different. If we come into the settings, they have something called personal intelligence, and then you can come into connected apps. And here you see this pretty much only works with Google products right now. So that's Gmail, Calendar, Docs, Drive, Keep, Tasks, YouTube, search services, photos, YouTube Music, and a few third-party tools, but really not that many. So if you want to connect up with third-party tools and that's important to you, then you're not going to want to use Gemini. But if you're all in with the Google ecosystem, then Gemini is more than fine, and it's going to be the best integration with the other Google Workspace tools of the three that we're looking at today. Two of these plans also give you access to a very powerful AI agent for knowledge work. The first one I'll show you is called Claude Cowork. So this is the Claude desktop app. When you download this, you get access over here on the left to regular chat, which is what I've been showing you so far, but you also get access to Claude Cowork. What's unique about Claude Cowork compared to regular chat is that inside of Claude Cowork, you can choose a folder on your computer, and then Cowork will have access to the files in that folder. It can edit those files and create new files. So I've actually set up a folder specifically for my agent. There's a lot of stuff in there, like I have it help me with invoices, with organizing my YouTube videos. It helps me with my business journaling. If I'm creating websites, it helps me write the code for the websites. And all of those files live natively on my computer, so it's not cloud-based. I've made a lot of videos about Claude Cowork because I think it is hands down one of the most powerful AI tools out there for knowledge work. In other words, like anything other than coding, basically. So like writing documents or a lot of those other examples I just gave you. It is absolutely a fantastic tool and one of the main reasons I love Claude so much. But ChatGPT has their own version of this. It's called Codex. This is also an app that you download onto your computer. And just like with Cowork, you can access local files on your computer. So everything I showed you Cowork can do, Codex can do it as well. And it does a fantastic job. I've made videos about Codex before. I think it's absolutely fantastic and does some things better than Cowork. But overall, I just think Cowork is a little bit more mature and a little bit easier for knowledge work. And that's because Codex doesn't have a way to distinguish between chats, Cowork type tasks, and coding like you can inside of Claude, the Claude app, with this toggle up here. So with Codex, it's kind of all in one, which I don't love. I would rather have this toggle so I can say like, I'm only doing Cowork type tasks in here, like knowledge work. And again, I just think it's a little bit more mature in this department. So I do prefer this one just a little bit, but honestly, you can't go wrong with either one. If you're looking for an app that you download onto your computer to help you with knowledge work, you're going to be happy with either Codex or with Cowork. Now, Gemini also has an agent. It's called Spark, and you can find this by toggling from chat over to Spark. However, there's two problems with this. The first one is that this is cloud-based as of right now, so it's not accessing local files on your computer. However, that functionality is coming soon. And also, Spark is only available on Gemini's higher tiered plans. So on this Pro plan, there is no access to Spark. If that changes in the future, I'll give you an update about it in the pinned comment in the comment section down below. While we have these apps open, let's talk about the next category, which is coding. Now, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this because I'm not a coder myself, but the consensus is pretty clear. If you're looking to use these tools for coding, the best ones for the job are going to be Claude and ChatGPT, or maybe accessing it through Codex. They're both going to do a fantastic job, and it really comes down to which one you like better. I also want to quickly cover some categories that are unique for each of these tools. We'll start with Claude. If you click on the left where it says Design, this is Claude Design. You can use this to prototype apps, create slide decks, or motion graphics. So the motion graphic that I used at the start of this video, I created that with Claude Design. You can do this with a similar tool that you can use with Codex or ChatGPT, but I just haven't found it to work as well as Claude Design. These motion graphics I use in a lot of my videos, and I can usually generate the polished final product with just 2 prompts. It's so easy to use. I absolutely love Claude Design. But when it comes to unique features, that category is definitely dominated by Google. With a Google AI Pro subscription, you get access to a lot of features outside of Gemini. I'll run through these really quickly because there are a lot. So first we have Google Flow. This is a dedicated tool for creating images and videos. You can, of course, generate these directly inside of Gemini, but having a dedicated app like this makes it a lot easier to stay organized, and it has separate usage limits. We'll talk about usage limits in a second. Inside the Gemini app, you can also generate music, AI-generated music, which is pretty fun. And there's also a dedicated tool for that as well called Flow Music, which also has separate usage limits. A Pro subscription also gives you more access to Notebook LM, which is one of the best AI tools Google has ever made. You can create these different notebooks where you can organize research topics, and you can add in sources that are websites, YouTube videos, you can upload files, and then all the information that you include as a source is used to ground this notebook in that information. So when I chat with the notebook here, it's only going to use the information from the sources. It's really cool. And then of course you can generate things inside this notebook like slide decks, mind maps, video overviews, and audio overviews. This is a free tool, but on the Pro plan, you get higher limits with it. A Pro subscription also gives you access to YouTube Premium Lite. So most YouTube videos you watch will not have ads, and you'll be able to download and play in the background YouTube videos with the app on your phone. It will also give you access to Gemini in Gmail, so it can help you write your messages, and Gemini in Docs, so it can help you write your docs. You also get access to Google Health Premium, which is a personal health coach AI. I've been using this and it's really helpful for tracking calories and for planning out workouts and recovery. You also get access to Google Home Premium and a few other benefits. So you get $10 in monthly Google Cloud credits. The Google Health Premium is normally $10 a month. I think YouTube Lite is normally $10 a month. The Google Home Premium is $10 a month. You also get access to 5 terabytes of cloud storage across Gmail, Drive, and Photos. And there's family sharing with up to 5 others. So yeah, it's a ton of value that they pack into this $20 plan. Of course, everything we talked about is kind of irrelevant if you can't even use the tools that much because of the usage limits. Usage limits are the caps each plan puts on how much you can use the tools and models within a certain time period. For instance, inside of Claude, if you click on your name and settings, you can see your usage limits right here. There's both a current session and a weekly limit, and if either of these are full, you're not gonna be able to use them until they reset. All 3 of these plans handle usage limits differently. With both Claude and Gemini, the limits depend on what kind of messages you are sending, which tools you use, what models you use, and how long the conversation is. Basically, the more you're asking it to do with your prompt, the quicker it's gonna burn through these limits. ChatGPT is easier to understand because OpenAI gives you clear numbers. On your Plus plan, you get 160 messages every 3 hours with their strongest model. That 3-hour reset also matters because Claude's main usage window resets every 5 hours. So ChatGPT is giving you more chances throughout the day for your limits to reset. And Codex has separate agent usage limits. So even if you burn through all your Codex usage, you're still going to be able to use ChatGPT. That's not the case with Claude Cowork and Claude. Strictly looking at the main chat tools, my experience is that Claude runs out the fastest by far, Gemini is next, and ChatGPT is the one I hit the least. But that's not the full story because with both ChatGPT and Gemini, if you hit your limits, you're still able to use them. They just downgrade you to a weaker model. And with Google AI Pro, a lot of the tools that I showed you, you get access to like Flow and Flow Music and Notebook LM don't count against your usage limit. So if you spread your use out, you'll probably never hit your limit with Gemini. Now, I want to be perfectly honest here. Because of how much I use AI, none of the plans I showed you today really work for me on their own. I'm currently using the Claude Max plan, which starts at $100 a month, and the Google AI Ultra plan, which also starts at $100 a month. For the amount that I use Claude Cowork, that is necessary. And because I create so many images and now videos, I also need a Google AI Ultra plan. So Claude and Gemini are the two that I use the most, but the $20 plans wouldn't cut it for me. I also do like to use Codex for a few tasks here and there, but because I don't use it that often, I just stick with the Plus plan, and that's plenty for me. What's going to work for you really depends on what you're using AI for and how much you're going to use it. But hopefully this video helped give you some clarity. If you want to see me compare other plans though, like maybe Grok or Perplexity, or some of these more expensive AI plans, let me know which ones you want me to look at in the comments section down below. One thing I did do recently was I compared the usage limits on most of the Google AI plans. You can find that video right here. I think I compared the free, Pro, and Ultra plans. So if you want to see what you get with each of those plans and what's included, click on this video right here, and I'll see you over there in 1 second. Bye for now.